All right. No, I knew the video stuff. All right, guys. Start off. It's lesson 2 for chapter 8. Amen. All right. So the Alter Rebbe in the beginning of chapter 8 was saying that things that are forbidden, and the reason why they're called forbidden is because the godliness, the vitality, cannot be extracted. It means we have to look at everything in the world, everything we take part in, we have to look at as unfinished. And it's our job, it is to categorize it. Now, something which is an already finished product wouldn't make sense for you to try to perfect it. It's finished. So what's holy is holy. You can't corrupt it. You can disrespect it. You can't corrupt it. Something that's unholy, you can't elevate it. We said last week, it's asur. It's tied down. So even if a person were to eat not kosher, God forbid, and use that energy to pray, to learn, the energy it doesn't become holy. Now, it's important to point out, we said it last week and maybe the week before, that the intent when a person does something right or the person does something wrong has to do with the amount of reward or amount of punishment. So if a person does something right with no intent, he still gets reward because he did something right. When a person does something wrong and he doesn't realize it's wrong, he still did something wrong. But his punishment or the rectification, we should say rather, is minor because intent is used to weed that out. And then we finished off saying this doesn't only apply to biblical commandments, it also applies to rabbinical commandments, like what's going to come up in 24 days, the lighting of the menorah. Hanukkah starts 3 weeks from Thursday night. And it's a good point. It's a good time to point out that the mitzvah is on olive oil. Every year we sell olive oil sets. You put in menorah. The miracle was with olive oil. You should do it with olive oil. So I'm gonna go buy a bunch of sets, and this year you guys are gonna do the mitzvah my way, well, the correct way, the only way.
The correct way.
Yeah. Okay. So now. So now, where does not that I was now going to get into? Now we're going to get into where does the temptation, the impulse to do something wrong, come from? So out there, but now is going to say something very, very strong, and this is one of my favorite lines from Tanya. There's a lot of good lines from Tanya. It's like Shakespeare. You can go on almost every line. A Jew is holy, right? Where does the temptation to do something not holy come from?
The animal soul.
But the animal soul is not. The animal's soul is not unholy either. We're learning it comes from klipas nega. Remember, there's 2 types of klipa. There's the unholy klipa, where godliness is so embedded, so buried deep, and so obscured that it's unholy. It's corrupted, right? And because it's corrupted, it cannot be elevated. Then you have the second type of klipa, where the godliness is covered. It's not corrupted, it's covered. It's your job to extract it. Doesn't mean it's unholy, it means it's covered. So if a Jewish body and a Jewish soul, animal soul, comes from a place that's covered, not holy, where does the impulse to do unholy things come from?
So give the example.
Okay.
A dog. Now a dog will eat anything.
Okay.
They'll eat anything.
Okay.
They'll even eat their own defecate. I mean, I've seen it,
and now you know why.
I don't want to know.
I don't have a dog, and for that reason, I'm out.
Okay, so a dog will eat anything. You take shellfish, they'll eat shellfish, whether it's good for them or not.
Okay.
They'll eat it. Okay, so you ask, where does let's say, the person who is looking and eats something that isn't kosher, it would come from the animal soul.
No,
because he's choosing.
No. You're confusing when the Tanya says animal soul, doesn't mean it acts like an animal. The reason why it's called animal soul, it's good you're asking this question, so we reclassify. The reason why it's called animal soul is because it shares character traits like an animal. Just like an animal is impulsive. An animal only cares about embellishing and enhancing its own existence and only cares about itself. Doesn't mean it acts like an animal and it'll do... No, human beings act like an animal. I see now. I see why you're saying that. That means,
So it's from the covers?
huh?
He's doing a bad act or doing like
So where does the impulse come from? I mean, if,
from
but
other things you've done? Is it
But,
from
but,
that?
but put it this way, right? I don't have to teach you. I don't have to teach a kid not to eat grass, not to eat dirt, not to eat trees,
What do you mean you don't?
because the person understands. Person understands right away that grass is not edible. It's not food. Because automatically,
Tell it to my daughter.
yeah, right. Pretty fingers, right? Meaning, maybe
She was about to eat like a piece of plastic now.
okay, but say because it's in the house and everything else. But what I'm trying to say is that a person's a Jew's natural soul.
Isn't she like 12 years old?
Months. So a Jew's natural soul, is also it also has holiness to it. So where does unholiness come from?
I think how do you start? So little at a time.
Oh, that's how you build up one to the other. But how does the first come? Alter Rebbe is going to say something to me is tremendous. It's foreign influence. Now Alter Rebbe is going to say over here that the natural state of a Jew is Judaism. We always think of Judaism as something outside. It means TV, movies, drugs, alcohol, girls, whatever, fill in the blank for whatever vice. That comes easy to us, beer. Right? Comes not, and we have to work so hard to do the Torah. The Alter Rebbe is saying here that's actually not the case. Remember, the whole book is based on the line. The Torah is very close to you, for you to do it, feel it, and say it. Right in all three: mind, mouth, and action. But how? What Alter Rebbe is saying it here is because a Jew's natural state is Judaism. Think about it. That's what you are. The only reason why a person has an impulse, it's foreign influence. It's because we've ingested and we've self-corrupted. So here we come to an interesting difference. In Christianity, they believe a person is born corrupted. A person is born bad. And only if they believe in whatever it is, they have a chance of being saved.
Yeah.
Torah comes and tells you, and Tanya explains it at length, that a person is born pure. And it's only because the influences of what's going on around the world.
Little at a time.
Yeah, that's the cover what I missed. From
Okay.
the minute they're
So-
born, they're
so-
just being covered by.
So theoretically, if let's say the world was only Jews, I'm not advocating for genocide, you know what I'm saying? Were the world only Jews, there would never be any sin. Because where does the temptation to sin come from?
Yeah.
It's a foreign influence. A Jew's connection to Torah, and a Jew's okay. So let's take a step further. It says when Mashiach comes, all the Jews are going to be doing the Torah mitzvot. What's going to happen? We're all going to be inspired. We're all going to be wearing white robes and fluffy clouds and riding unicorns and
to Levim, no?
sort of. And the Levim are going to turn to Khan.
Yeah.
But what does it mean? It says that God's going to
Keren.
huh?
Chad Keren.
Chad Keren. What does that mean?
Unicorn in Hebrew.
What do you mean by it?
You know, by the way, there is such a thing as a unicorn. You know what the unicorn is? You think they came up with that idea?
It's
You know this?
No, yes. Chabad has a house there.
There's an
Definitely,
animal. There's an animal. I know this is sort of off the subject. There's an animal. It's brought down in the book of Exodus that they use the skin for the cover of the tabernacle. The animal is called a tachash. Taf, chet, shin. It's not around anymore. So, and that animal had its hide was different colors.
But I thought Tachash is a type of a dog, actually. There's a Kelev Tachash, which has like this long body and long
Like a
tail.
hound. What is it called? A wiener hound. Whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
kind of like a, yeah.
No, but
Dachshund.
yeah.
A dachshund.
Yeah, but no. So it says, this was, I don't know what they call it now. Don't confuse modern Hebrew with biblical Hebrew. But it was tough, chet, shin. And it says in the Midrash, this was an animal like sort of like from the bull, cow family, and it had one horn. This was written many hundreds, millennia ago. Interesting. So we any good idea that you think they have, we got it first.
We got it.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new on this.
Vampires.
Well, drinking blood is many prohibitions in the Torah. I don't know-
Zombies.
I don't know about oh, we have the story of Samuel.
Ooh, the fairies.
Elijah?
Gargoyles.
The statues?
Trolls. Trolls.
Charles, exactly. Og. Anyway, all right, we'll give them one idea. All right, but so the Alter Rebbe is saying
Werewolf?
yeah, the Alter Rebbe is saying over here something to me is revolutionary because we always look at the Torah as it's superimposed upon our natural tendency.
Kinneret monster.
Oh yeah, exactly. The Loch Kinneret monster. But the Torah says, but the Tanya is saying over here, is that the natural a Jew naturally gravitates towards Judaism. So you go over to a Jew. Sometimes you say you want to you go over to a lot of Shabbos candles. You want to put on tefillin, and you're intimidated because they're not religious. I'm going to ask them. You can't be intimidated because you want to help a Jew bring out the true identity. So the fact that a person doesn't know that this is a way to connect to the true essence, it's a rachmanis, it's a pity on them. You go to them and say, here, listen, you're a Jew. This is what Jewish people do. This is what you're naturally supposed to do.
But like you said, we need to work on the delivery.
Yeah, the Rebbe would always say,
Exactly
has to be be'ofen hametkabel. Has to
Time
be.
out. Hold on.
Yeah.
How do you connect to what you guys started with today's lesson with?
It's
There's
exactly
some
that.
people that shouldn't, you're not,
No, he was
three
saying-
lines in, they weren't allowed to listen to it.
No,
They
they.
tried to show
No,
somebody
no,
something
no,
and they
no.
didn't want to listen after
I'm
3
trying to
hours.
say what was their immediate criticism. Listening to 3 sentences in a let's say 50-minute video, I told them the first 18 minutes literally describe the history of the fights with us and the Plishtim back in the day. All where does it come from? All that stuff, amazing stuff. But they couldn't hear the 3 sentences. Not even talking yet about the topic, to even allow themselves to hear.
They
for
couldn't get past
4
the
minutes.
introduction.
Right.
Yeah.
So a person who's healthy doesn't feel their body. When you're healthy, you don't feel your body. Sometimes if you have a foreign substance in your body, the body doesn't function well. So a Jew is supposed to function. The Torah believes this about every Jew. It's supposed to function naturally according to Torah mitzvahs. It's when we ingest foreign substances, it makes a whole operation. Now the problem is, like the Rebbe many times said, we're in such a terrible exile, doubly dark exile, is that we think that our modus operandi now is normal. I mean, the Jew belongs in Israel. That's our home. And we belong with the temple, right? And a Jew belongs, the natural state is you wake up in the morning, you thank God you're alive. And you put on tefillin in the morning. That's normal. Because if you're given a godly soul, a transcendental soul, the normal thing to do is to key into it. You're not, something's wrong with you. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. I mean, you don't feel your own potential. So we want to teach you. Alter Rebbe is saying, let me tell you, there was one time a guy came to the Rebbe and the Rebbe told him to do something, asked him to do something, and the guy says, nah, I can't do it, not for me. The Rebbe says, you don't even know who you are. You think you know. You don't know who you are. Alter Rebbe is saying, you don't know who you are. Torah tells you just how special you are. So when we look at the Torah as natural, anything anti the Torah as unnatural changes our whole view of how to do it. Let's go. Let's learn it inside. V'lechein, middle of 126. Therefore, v'lechein, yeah, got it? Yeah. V'lechein, therefore, gama yetzer hara, even the evil impulse, the koach hamatav l'dvarim asurim, and the force and the power that makes us drive after things that are forbidden, who shade mishad and are from the foreign. Nachri is foreign. It's foreign influences. Which is the evil impulse of the nations of the world. Because a Jew should naturally want to do want to do the Torah. Because their souls come from the sholosh, the three unclean klipot. Therefore, they strive after these things. But us, Masha'enkin. However, on the other hand, the Yitzhahara, but the Yitzhahara and the drive for things that are permitted, which means the ice cream is kosher. But why are you doing it? To fulfill your desire. Hushad Meshedin Yudon. They come from what's called the Jewish demons. The Fisha Yachal Lachsel Legusha. Because if you do something which is okay, but for the wrong reason, we explained in previous classes that once a person does teshuvah and redirects that energy or redirects that motive, now it can be elevated. So that's the good news, because since the food itself is permissible, but it was only the intent, it was only the drive that was wrong. So once you fix the drive, then it's okay. But if a person were to do something foreign to his character, I think I've told this story before. When I was 15 or 16, I was a smart aleck, right? I wanted to press my parents' buttons a little bit. 16. I have to preface the story saying, I come from a regular Chabad family, right? So there's certain expectations. We're regular Orthodox. So I went to my father and said, I want to go to Times Square for New Year's. No, my father said, no. He says, why not? Because I said so. But got to push the envelope. But why not? Because I said, you're not going. So I want to go. So, I hear you want to go. You're not going. I said, but why? And he says, it's a pasnisht for a bacher. It's unbecoming for a yeshiva boy. You don't belong there. It's not for you. A person who is supposed to be learning Torah and praying and doing what he's supposed to do, it's not the right environment. You put yourself in the wrong environment, bad things can happen. You don't belong there. So a Jew is supposed to be in a proper environment.
There's a famous story about this guy from Bnei Brak.
Mm-hmm.
And his daughter, she's like 15 or 13, something like that, and she wants to start wearing short skirts.
Right.
So he goes to Rav Kanievsky, a very big rabbi.
Yeah, in Jerusalem. Yeah.
In Bnei Brak.
Okay.
And what does he tell him to do? Like, what am I gonna do? And they live in Bnei Brak, very Orthodox. He tells him, go with her to the store and buy it with her. So she feels the respect that you're giving her.
Right.
And in like one time that she wore it, she decided she doesn't want to wear it anymore.
So we weren't here for the previous class. We talked about chesed. That story ties in very, very well. But
that story about the popcorn.
Oh yeah, exactly, with the popcorn. Yeah, exactly. But the idea that I have to dress a certain way for a certain respect and sell my body, so to speak. Why should a girl have that image? Where's a girl getting that image? A person naturally should be more reserved. Why? Because in TV or on Instagram they're telling you that this is the way.
More exposed is better.
Huh?
More exposed is better.
When I know somebody, she's a party girl and she has a lot of fun and everything else. She's having a hard time finding a mate. Why? Because no one wants to marry the party girl. They want to party with the party girl, but they want to settle down with with a more serious person. And she can't understand that, right? No, not at all.
Now she can throw a pity party.
Cheers.
Exactly, a pity party. Yeah. What's on the menu? Right? Now, so as long as when a person does something that theoretically could be okay, but he does it for the wrong reasons. So as long as a person didn't repent and didn't channel that energy towards holiness, it's on the other side, and it's on the other side. So basically, again, there are things that can be elevated, things that can't be elevated. So if you do something which is theoretically is okay, ate cake, but you ate cake for no reason, so now you say, okay, that was bad. Now I'm going to use that energy to learn Torah. But even afterwards, but still afterwards, Hishimu memenu nishar davak, because you abused the body, so to speak, because you did it for the wrong reason. There's a mark. There's an effect. Liot Ki machol b'kol machol mashke, because every food and drink now to take of down the basar sorry becomes part of your body. So now let's take this in. Let's take this into a.
Wait, what does that mean?
That means as soon as you ingest
Every
something,
drink or every food becomes part of your.
you are what you eat. It is absorbed into your bloodstream. It becomes part of you. It becomes part of you. You are what you eat. So now we can understand a story. Hashem told Adam, "Don't eat from the tree of knowledge," and Hashem said, "If you eat from the tree of knowledge, you're gonna die." Don't you think it's a little severe? I mean, we're not talking.
You received 1,000 years, so.
But forget it. Right? But he had, basically, the decree of death was introduced because of that. Don't you think it's a little bit? Oh, thank you. Don't you think it's a little bit extreme? I mean, it wasn't ammonia. It wasn't some poison. It was a fruit. Some people say it was a grape, a pomegranate, a date, not an apple, by the way. Right? Some people say it was wheat.
Was it that he didn't have knowledge of good and evil at that time, and so God had to speak in absolutes of death or life?
That's a very good word, because everything back then was absolutes.
Yeah,
but what couldn't?
They didn't have the shame before they had the apple.
But what? Not an apple. I just said not an apple.
Before you ate
the pomegranate.
Some people say.
Just say fruit.
Some people say it was an etrog.
Okay.
Anyway, but
A little
what can?
sour, but okay.
Now you know why. You ate that? Get out. If you're that dumb, get out. But maybe he likes,
What was it, because they had no knowledge of that prior, and that's why it was such an absolute?
So the answer is,
Repercussion.
but the answer is based on what he says over here, because everything, what God is life. Everything out against God is not life. Right?
I have a question.
1 second. Let me finish this point.
Sorry.
No. So everything opposite of God is life, right? So because he ingested the food, so that energy, that anti-God energy, whoa, yeah, that anti-God energy was now ingested throughout his whole body. So it wasn't a punishment; it's a consequence.
Did Adam have free will before he ate
100%.
the apple?
100%. If no free will, then what? He can't give reward and punishment. 100%.
And when did free will come into existence?
As soon as God,
Created him.
yeah, give him a godly
Did
soul.
he have free will before Eve?
Yeah.
Did he have? Was the whole? There was a thing that came out of pre-Adam.
Getting into Lilith over here.
No, not Lilith, not on the female side, but like, what was the purpose of Adam's purpose? Was through free will to help put together, like, to put like Shaman.
So if I think I understand what you're saying, Adam and Chava had a discussion. What does God want? What's the ideal state of the world? Adam said God wants the world to exist in absolutes, right? Good and bad, true and false.
I'm asking, like, why did they choose to go down from heaven?
So Chava said no. God doesn't want the world absolute. God wants us to make a good world from a convoluted place.
The tikkun of it all.
Yeah, that's what God wants. That's
The engagement that free will affords us is taking part of the tikkun.
yeah, because only when you have the ability to do wrong
So what is?
and you choose life,
What are these demons like? The Yitzhak?
meaning if something is pushing you to do something for selfish motives, he's using borrowing words from Kabbalah. It's the selfishness from it. It's something that's corrupted. Because in theory, I mean, speaking objectively, every person can agree everything you do should be productive. If you're eating cake, I mean, we all know that cake and rugelach are not good for you. I mean, it doesn't take a genius, right? In theory, every week we should
Only
serve
if you
salad.
eat
Good
so
for you if
many.
you're hungry.
Yeah.
Only if you eat so many. If
No.
you have one,
No.
it's not that bad.
But if
No,
you,
not that bad and good. It's not the same.
if you eat it on Shabbos,
So hold on, you know, when I got married, my wife makes something. I'm like, well, it's not bad. What do you mean it's not bad? In Spanish, not bad means it's not bad. But in English, you say not bad means it's good. Say it's good. I'm saying it's good. It's not bad. No, stop saying it's not bad. So it's good. It's the same thing. It is not the same thing. Right.
It's an Abbott and Costello routine, right?
Yeah. Like
Goes on first.
Abbott Costello has the whole thing. The guy's backing up. All right, go ahead. All right.
when I met my wife, she used to call me cute. I would think that she thinks that I'm like a little puppy.
Exactly. Cute. It was cute.
But,
Yeah.
what do you mean cute?
Yeah.
I'm not accepting that.
I don't think so, you're cute.
Good thing we've established.
Right.
Ron doesn't think you're cute.
Not so cute anymore.
No, but so we all agree. We could all agree that everything you do should serve a purpose. If it's just, then it's definitely not constructive. So the shaidim or the demons inside of you push you to do something, but whatever. That's not good. So if it's really unholy, that's bad. If it's okay, but you did it for the wrong reasons, then it's not good. And you can elevate it later, but the mark is still going to be there. That's why, therefore, tzarech haguf. Let's continue. Tzarech haguf, the body, it's necessary for the body to undergo l'chibut hakever. L'chibut hakever is purgatory of the grave. You want to see? Look at Zayar. Look at the note in the bottom. And the point is, after the person dies, so the soul is holy. Soul came into a body, and the body was used for unholy things. So let's say, for example, let me give you a question in halacha, right? Let's say I borrow your drill, and you give me the drill to build something, and I bring you back the drill and it's beat up, and you say, hey, I want a brand new drill. Is that a fair claim?
Yes.
Yes.
No, because when you lent me the drill, you knew I was going to use the drill to build, and it's going to get dirty and scruffed up. You don't lend it to me. But if I
Wait,
use,
did you mean ruined?
it's not ruined. It's
No,
it's
scuffed up.
Oh,
It said it was it
no,
was used.
sorry, I misunderstood you. I
Right.
thought like it was unusable.
oh no.
If it's still usable,
Eric has a lot of
I
tools.
mean, there's a difference if someone's like intentionally throwing a tool around.
Hold on, I didn't
with
say that.
malicious intent,
No,
or
I
if
didn't.
they're just building
hold
a
on.
house. That's
Okay,
different.
so,
you know, like-
so again, that's what I said. If I borrow your drill and I use it to build something, and I use it to build a big project, and it gets dirty, gets scratched up, and everything else, do
What
I
if
have
you
to?
took my car and
Hold on a
someone bumped
second.
into
Hold on a second. Hold on. It's not the same thing. Do I have to buy you a new drill?
no, but I get to enjoy the fruits of your.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You're
why?
building.
Why? Because you didn't misuse it during the time it's going to be used, right? But let's say, for example, I needed a hammer or
Hold on,
something, and I
you just-
used your drill to
what is he right?
what?
He gets to enjoy the fruits of your building.
Yeah.
Is that to be expected?
If I let you borrow a drill,
If I build a house and you have the stupidity
I
to
get
walk
a
into the house.
closet. I get a
no,
walk-in
see,
closet.
is he wrong for thinking like that?
No.
That like I'm expecting now something in return.
The expecting part, yeah, well, you can't expect it. I think
Well, no, that's exactly what he said.
when you
Well, no, I expected you to treat my tool with respect.
yes, but I'm trying to say is that meaning what we're saying over here about the purgatory of the grave is when someone misuses the body. Not he uses the body, he misuses the body. Right? So
Intentionally.
whatever, or even it doesn't make a difference, or even unintentionally. Even unintentionally, that means if I borrow the drill from you and I'm using it, to knock in a nail or something, that's not that, or I throw the drill down.
No, let's say it
Yeah.
fell. Exactly. Let's say it just fell and it got.
So what?
hit
That's
a little
that you're
bit.
still responsible.
Yeah.
You're still.
But a new one.
I don't know, but again, whatever, you have to pay to repair it. The point is that when you give God back your soul and everything else, and the soul and the body were misused, I think it's over there somewhere because of the our ceiling, and the body so now the body has to go through a certain repair. That's not punishment. That's you misused a tool that God gave to you. So why can't you do whatever you want to your body? Why can't you harm yourself? Why can you starve yourself? Because your body doesn't belong to you. You don't belong to you. You know that we say in Pirkei
The
Avot.
example of renting a car.
Yeah, we say in Pirkei Avot, our kocher atar chai, you're forced to be alive, and against your will you live, against your will you die. You don't belong to you. You're an employee.
And he recorded fatty in the Torah. Like, and Reuven was a fat guy.
Well, we have the story with the second judge, dealing with the guy from Moab. The guy was.
No, I'm talking about on our side.
Jabba the Hutt.
Well, Nachum Chernobler was very heavy. Someone was very heavy? I have to remember. There was a guy.
The Bible.
There was a man.
Wow.
There wasn't the man in the Gemara. I can't remember who he was. Anyway, so
Slim.
the reason why the body has to go this is lanakoto latara to cleanse and to purify mitumoto from the impurities. Shekibel ba'nos olam v'tanugim that the body received from the pleasures of this world. Betubat klipat noga b'shedim yudam, because he was involved. You have a job. Your job is to extract the godliness from the materiality, to extract the godliness from the selfishness and indulgence. And what did the person choose to do? He chose to sink deeper into it instead of being elevated. Right? So if I send you to a school where kids are doing drugs and alcohol and say, I want you to teach these kids how to be a proper person, and I come back a month later, and you have a bunch of needle marks in your hand, I didn't ask you to go down to their level. I asked you to lift it up. So that's what happens. So now, don't think it's so bad, because the truth of the matter is, everybody, has some kind of pleasure from the physical world. It's only normal. Who can walk out and say, no, everything I did was for the right reasons? Always. Very, very few people. Avram, and also Rabbeinu Kadosh, the one who wrote the Mishnah, Yehuda Nasi. Even though he was very, very wealthy, he said, I never had any benefit from the physical world. Everything I did was productive.
Wow.
But that's why he's called Rebbe. Yeah, because he's on that level. But most people, this is why we say Kaddish. And this is why there's the custom we don't visit the grave during the first 12 months. Because we don't know exactly how long the person's going through this rectification. There's a line in Pirkei Avot.
Visit on the 30th?
You go to visit when Chabad puts up the gravestone on the 7th day. Some people put up on the 30th day. Yeah, but after that you don't. You go to visit. The person goes to put up the gravestone, and then they don't come back for the year.
Yeah.
That's the custom. But now there's a line in Pirkei Avot I'm about to say that says don't try to look at a person in his time of shame. Don't look at a person, an accident, right? When a person is going through some shame, leave him be, turn away. So that's why we don't visit the body, the person, right? Because we don't know what's going on, but everyone has to go through some kind of rectification process, a cleansing process. Okay, should we continue, because we're at 3 dots. We're 9:27. Should we leave it here?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Let's leave it here. Yeah, and next week we'll finish it. Yeah, by 8th of Tevet, 3 dots, and next week we'll knock out the rest of chapter 8, and we're going to talk about that. We spoke about food. What about words and thoughts and different things? The author was going to get into how do we correct it, how do we elevate it. Right.